Imagine if some of the most legendary characters in the Marvel Universe finally joined Marvel Cosmic Invasion. We're talking about those heroes and villains who could turn the meta upside down and completely transform the way the game is played. In today's video, I've picked out 10 characters who would make all the difference if they arrived in the game. Some are fan favorites, others are choices no one expects, but they all have the potential to make the game even more epic. I'm Matthew, and the video starts right now. Honestly, Wanda Maximoff's absence is something that still doesn't make sense to me. She is one of the most complex and powerful characters in the Marvel Universe, and the game had everything needed to explore that incredibly well. While we see various cosmic and mystical heroes sharing space, it's impossible not to imagine how the Scarlet Witch's presence would bring an extra layer of emotion and chaos to the battlefield. Wanda's combat style could easily transform the game dynamics. She wouldn't need to be just another magic user. She could be the type of character who bends the rules of gameplay, manipulating time, probabilities, and even the realities of the stage itself. Imagine an attack mode where she completely changes the physics of the map or reverses enemy attacks. It would be a visual spectacle and a revolution in mechanics. Beyond combat, the narrative would gain so much from her. Wanda carries a massive emotional load, trauma, guilt, the quest for control, and Marvel Cosmic Invasion could use that to add depth to the story. Seeing her oscillate between hero and threat would be fascinating, especially in a context where the balance of the cosmos is at stake. She would naturally bring tension and humanity to such a grandiose plot. Another thing is Wanda's bond with various characters already in the game. From Doctor Strange to the mutants, her connections could generate dialogues and missions full of interesting conflicts. She's that type of character who changes the tone of the entire narrative just by being there. It's a huge waste to leave so many potential relationships and rivalries just to the imagination. Marvel Cosmic Invasion missed the opportunity to expand its emotional and strategic reach. The Scarlet Witch is a character who mixes destruction and redemption with a visual and thematic force that few can match. I hope that if the game gets an expansion or sequel, Marvel gives her the spotlight she deserves, because the cosmic universe just seems incomplete without her presence. Daredevil is a character with absurd potential. He has that kind of presence that doesn't depend on great cosmic powers, but rather on skill, instinct, and a determination that makes any player feel like they're in the shoes of a true urban hero. It's impossible not to miss Daredevil in Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Amidst so many cosmic characters and superpowered beings, having someone so grounded would bring a very interesting contrast. Matt Murdock is a character driven by faith, a sense of justice, and pain. And precisely because of that, he would add a more human touch to the roster. He reminds the player that courage and conviction can be just as powerful as any mystical energy or alien technology. In terms of gameplay, Daredevil would be a sensational addition. His abilities based on heightened senses and acrobatic movements would be perfect for more technical and strategic combat. The echolocation system could create a unique mechanic. Imagine using sound to map hidden enemies amidst the chaos of a cosmic battle. He would be that type of character who rewards the patient and skilled player, balancing a roster full of devastating attacks with pure physical mastery. Narratively, Matt would bring a different perspective. While most heroes in the game are likely dealing with large-scale threats, Daredevil sees the universe through a more moral and intimate lens. He would raise questions about guilt, duty, and morality, even among the game's gods and titans. This contrast would be pure gold for the script. Imagine him confronting Thor or Captain Marvel about the consequences of their actions. Those would be heavy dialogues. Furthermore, the Hell's Kitchen setting could serve as an incredible map in future expansions. Between dark alleys and rainy rooftops, Daredevil would show how even the smallest of battlefields can have as much intensity as a galactic war. A co-op mission with the Punisher or Elektra would be the kind of content Marvel fans dream of seeing. Leaving Daredevil out is missing the chance to explore the more human side of the Marvel Universe. He is the symbol of resilience and the strength born from pain, exactly the kind of energy that could balance the cosmic spectacle with a dose of emotional realism. A game like Marvel Cosmic Invasion needs heroes like this, ones who don't just save the world, but remind us why it's still worth fighting for. You know that character who seems tailor-made for a game, but for some reason was left out? The Thing is exactly that case. The guy is practically synonymous with brute force in the Marvel Universe, but what makes him interesting isn't just the devastating punch, it's the personality. He has this perfect balance between the brutality of a tank and the charisma of a hero who genuinely cares about the crew. In a game full of cosmic conflicts, seeing Ben Grimm yelling that classic, "It's clobberin' time," would have been epic. The game works very well with team dynamics, and the Thing would fit perfectly into the role of a tank with narrative depth. He could be that character who protects the group, holding back alien hordes while cracking sarcastic jokes in the middle of the brawl. Plus, visually, he's a dream for the devs. The rocky texture and unmistakable design would put on a show of destruction in the game's arenas, with chunks of the ground flying with every blow. It's the kind of presence that changes the pace of the match just by entering the scene. In terms of gameplay, you can imagine heavy combos and area of effect impact attacks, with giant stamina bars and counterattack abilities based on timing. And it would be great to see how much the game could explore this within the cosmic context. Perhaps the Thing facing colossal stone aliens, or interplanetary monsters similar to himself, dealing with both the physical fight and the dilemma of being different. He would bring an emotional and physical layer that few characters manage to balance. Beyond gameplay, his story could yield great moments. Ben Grimm has always been the human hero amidst gods and geniuses, and it's this contrast that is missing in Marvel Cosmic Invasion. While the game focuses heavily on cosmic heroes and powerful entities, the Thing would bring that grounded feel, the guy who takes a beating but doesn't give up. His journey could show the more human side of this entire intergalactic war. Leaving the Thing out is like ignoring an essential part of Marvel's DNA, the idea that even the most unlikely of heroes can change the fate of the universe. He would have been a character to balance humor, strength, and heart. Everything Marvel Cosmic Invasion makes a point of showing, yet ends up missing without him. Who knows? Maybe in a future expansion, we'll finally see Ben Grimm getting the space he deserves. You know that type of character you miss right off the bat when you enter a Marvel game? Yeah, Nick Fury is exactly that type. In Marvel Cosmic Invasion, he would be the perfect link between cosmic chaos and the tactical base of the Earth team. Even without superpowers, Fury has always been the brain behind many S.H.I.E.L.D. victories, and you can imagine how much that would enrich the game, especially in strategy missions or infiltration segments. Just think, instead of entering merely as a playable character, Fury could be a field commander, the one who sends reinforcements, provides equipment, and even activates special advantages during battle. He is the guy who turns a disorganized group of heroes into a coordinated fighting force. In a game with such cosmic scale, this human, cold, and calculated presence would bring a powerful contrast. Furthermore, Fury has always had an interesting connection with the cosmic side of Marvel. He has already had contact with aliens, dealt with interplanetary threats, and even participated in conflicts involving universal entities. So, seeing him interact with characters like Nova, Captain Marvel, or even Thor himself would be incredible. He is that type of character who adds political and narrative weight, something Marvel Cosmic Invasion could explore very well. On the visual and gameplay side, Nick Fury also has absurd potential. You can imagine a system of military gadgets, drones, energy weapons, and espionage tactics in the middle of the battle. He would bring a more technical type of gameplay, less based on brute force and more on control and planning. This would give variety to the game and make every mission a tactical puzzle. Leaving Nick Fury out seems like a missed opportunity. He is the guy who unites worlds, the symbol of human resistance in the face of the impossible. In a game that talks about cosmic invasion and the fight for Earth's survival, would there be a more natural place for Nick Fury than this? Who knows? Maybe in a future expansion, Marvel will finally correct this absence and put the old S.H.I.E.L.D. director back in command where he belongs.
Hawkeye is a very interesting choice to talk about, especially for having been left out. He is one of those characters who, even without cosmic powers or absurd technologies, manages to shine in any team because of his skill and personality. Let's imagine how he would have fit into this game. You know what is missed most by Hawkeye's absence? The contrast. Marvel Cosmic Invasion brings together a cast full of gods, aliens, and interdimensional beings, and having someone like Clint Barton, just a human with a bow in hand and impeccable aim, brings that balance that humanizes the roster. He reminds us that courage and determination are also powerful weapons amidst cosmic chaos. Additionally, Hawkeye's combat style could add a very interesting tactical layer. He has always been known for planning his moves, using different types of arrows, and turning impossible situations into intelligent victories. Imagining this translated into gameplay, with elemental, explosive, and tracking arrows, and even those more creative ones he uses in the comics, would be a delight to play. He would bring a different rhythm, more strategic and technical, contrasting with the devastating attacks of the cosmic characters. And, honestly, Clint's humor and sarcastic attitude would do wonders for character interactions. He is the type of hero who throws jokes and taunts as if they were part of his arsenal. Imagining him trading insults with Rocket Raccoon, or being the grounded guy amidst conflicts between Thor and Captain Marvel, would be perfect to balance the game's epic tone with a touch of humanity and levity. Not to mention that his presence would open space for more tactical missions based on infiltration, espionage, and precision. Everything Hawkeye masters. He would work well in side missions, perhaps acting as support in the shadows or even coordinating attacks in the background, which would fit his experience as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Leaving Hawkeye out of Marvel Cosmic Invasion is like assembling an orchestra and forgetting the drummer. The sound is still good, but something essential to keep the rhythm and personality is missing. Clint Barton is that type of character who reminds us why we love these heroes, because even among gods and titans, there is still room for a simple human to make a difference. You know that character who seems tailor-made for a game, but for some reason was left out? That is the case with the Punisher. Frank Castle has all the essence of an anti-hero who would fit perfectly into this chaotic universe full of galactic conflicts. While the game dives into cosmic battles and interplanetary teams, the Punisher would bring a more grounded, grittier tone, that type of contrast that gives personality to the cast. Imagine what his gameplay would be like. No cosmic powers or alien armor, just tactics, precision, and pure brutality. He would function as the group's specialized soldier, using weapons adapted with Kree or Skrull technology, mixing classic military style with futuristic resources. It would be the perfect character for those who like a more strategic approach, where you need to think and act like a hunter within the chaos. And there's the narrative side too. The Punisher has always been driven by vengeance and a sense of justice, but throwing him into an environment with cosmic heroes and villains would be a chance to explore how far his moral limits go. How would he react to seeing entities that destroy entire planets or rule empires? That tension between the human and the unattainable would give a lot of emotional weight to the story. Plus, his visuals could be incredible within the game's aesthetic. Imagine the classic Punisher suit, but with alien modifications, maybe an energy vest, or the skull symbol glowing with Xenian technology. Just the character design alone would draw attention, balancing urban style with the cosmic in a way Marvel loves to do when mixing universes.
In the end, the Punisher's absence is one of those that leaves us imagining what could have been. He might not be the hero who saves galaxies, but he would be the one doing the work no one else wants to do. The guy who faces the universe's filth with the same cold stare of someone who has already seen the worst of Earth. And maybe that is what Marvel Cosmic Invasion is really missing. A character with both feet on the ground, but with enough ammo to face the infinite. Scott Lang is exactly the type of character I miss when a game like Marvel Cosmic Invasion tries to assemble a larger-than-life cast and, without realizing it, leaves out someone who plays with scale like no one else. Ant-Man isn't just another Avenger to fill space. He is a walking gameplay idea. And in a game with cosmic brawling and gigantic threats, having someone who can become tiny or huge would be a perfect way to make fights more creative and less just punching. In my head, Scott would be a character who changes the pace of the match all the time. You could have a quick command to shrink and phase through attacks, escape encirclements, and reappear behind the enemy with a surprise blow, like disappeared from the map and came back humiliating you. And then, when things get tight, enter giant mode to control space, push back hordes, and hold off bosses for a few seconds, creating that breathing room that makes a difference in cooperative play. And the coolest thing is that Ant-Man has absurd potential for interactions with the environment and alien technology. I would be very happy to see stages where he invades panels, disarms scroll mechanisms from the inside, or sabotages a Kree cannon by literally entering the gears. This gives a sense of a mission in the middle of the beat-em-up without breaking the flow, and reinforces that fantasy of being the guy who solves the impossible in a way no one else can. Scott would also be gold for the game's tone, because he is funny in the right way. It's not just little jokes, it's the charisma of a normal guy thrown into the middle of the absurd. He functions as the common man surrounded by legends, and that, in a cosmic event, humanizes everything. I can imagine quick dialogues of him trying to understand intergalactic technology, or that moment when he realizes he is facing an enemy the size of a building and lets out an, "Okay, here we go," before growing and getting into the fight. I think Marvel Cosmic Invasion loses a chance to have a character who doesn't compete with others on who shoots the brightest power, but rather on who makes the game feel different. Ant-Man would be that pick you choose, not just because you like the character, but because he opens up possibilities, changes the way you fight, changes the way you traverse levels, and even changes the mood of the scenes. And honestly, in a cosmic game, a hero who dominates scale should be practically mandatory. Green Goblin is one of those characters that I am genuinely surprised not to see in the game, because he looks like a perfect boss, and at the same time, could be an absurdly fun, playable villain. Norman Osborn, or even an alternative, more cosmic version, combines chaos, theatrics, and cruelty. And that kind of energy fits like a glove in a game that thrives on exaggerated confrontations and "damn, what is happening here" moments. As a boss, he would put on a show. The glider would allow for an attack pattern unlike almost any other common enemy. I imagine a fight in multiple layers, with him cutting across the screen at high speed, dropping explosive pumpkins that create danger zones, and forcing the team to control space instead of just surrounding and hitting him. And the best part is that the Goblin always seems to be playing with you, so every phase of combat could have taunts, laughter, and that sense that he is having way too much fun with your suffering. Now, if he were playable, then the potential explodes. The Green Goblin would be that character focused on mobility and zoning, aerial dashes on the glider, arcing attacks with bombs, and fast strikes to punish anyone who tries to get close. In a beat-em-up, this is gold, because it creates a hit-and-run option that totally changes the group's rhythm. While the crew is on the ground clearing the horde, the Goblin would be controlling the sky, breaking formations, and opening space for combos. And you can go further with his identity. The gadgets. I wanted to see variations of bombs, smoke, web glue, impact, cluster, and even some type of temporary serum that increases damage and speed, but with a cost, like becoming more vulnerable or losing control for a few seconds. This would leave the character with that sensation of risk that matches Norman. High power, low sanity. It's the type of design that makes the player feel evil and love it. In the end, Marvel Cosmic Invasion is about scale and spectacle, and the Green Goblin delivers spectacle naturally. He doesn't need cosmic stones or space beams to steal the scene. He does it with presence, malice, and a perfect kit for memorable encounters. If he had entered the game, I bet he would be that character we remember years later, not just for being iconic, but because every fight with him would have a unique signature, in that this could only be the Green Goblin kind of way. Doctor Doom is for me that type of character who carries such a strong presence that he shifts the tone of anything he appears in. And seeing him left out of Marvel Cosmic Invasion is almost unbelievable. Because if there is anyone who understands the balance between the mystical and the technological, exactly the heart of this game, it is Victor Von Doom. He has the intellect to rival any cosmic character, and the ego to want to dominate the entire universe. He is the perfect villain for the type of scale the game tries to achieve. Doom could easily function as the great manipulator behind the main events, the one who watches all the cosmic factions fighting and, in the end, appears to reap the rewards. Imagine a campaign where the heroes spend the entire game trying to prevent an interplanetary war, and then discover that it was all part of his plan to steal energy from two empires at the same time. It would be the type of reveal that gives enormous weight to the story and naturally elevates the threat level. And speaking of gameplay, you can imagine how satisfying it would be to play with him. Doctor Doom combines sorcery with technological weaponry, which would yield a hybrid kit full of possibilities. Mystical energy blasts, force shields, drones, and even summons based on dark magic. He would be that character who demands precision and timing, but rewards the player with almost absolute power when mastered well. The typical villain you dream of controlling. Another thing that makes me wonder is how Doom would fit visually into Cosmic Invasion. His design is a spectacle in itself. The metallic armor with a greenish glow, the cloak floating in space battles, everything about him screams majesty. Now imagine a reworked version, with alien details or energized cosmic runes, reflecting his experiments with technology from beyond Earth. He would be the most imposing character on the battlefield, effortlessly. Ultimately, Doctor Doom's absence is a missed opportunity. He isn't just a powerful villain, he is a symbol of pure ambition, the one who wants everything and never thinks he has enough. And in a game that talks about conquest and cosmic domination, you can't think of someone who would fit better. With Doom, Marvel Cosmic Invasion would have not only a great enemy, but a presence that would make every victory seem small compared to what was still to come. The Vision is one of those characters that I really miss because he has such a unique presence that mixes technology, emotion, and an almost alien touch, all of which fits perfectly with the cosmic spirit of the game. He isn't just another robot or android. He is someone who carries a complex identity within himself, struggling between being a machine and being human. This would give a narrative weight that few characters can deliver. In gameplay, Vision would be a sort of strategic controller, someone who dominates the battlefield with energy blasts, constant flight, and the ability to phase through walls or enemies. He could be the ideal character to clear the way in tight stages, attack from afar, and even disable enemy mechanisms with his laser beam. Imagine a fight where he needs to infiltrate an alien ship from the inside, disable systems, and come back to help the group with precise attacks from above. That would make the game much more dynamic and creative. And the coolest part is that the Vision brings with him a duality that few characters have. He can be cold, logical, almost robotic, but he also shows feelings, doubts, and empathy. This would provide an interesting counterpoint in the game's scenes, especially in moments of moral decision or when the group faces cosmic dilemmas. He could be that character who questions the hero's choices, bringing a more reflective tone amidst the chaos of battle. Visually, the Vision would also stand out. His classic design, with the silver body, red skin, and cape, is already iconic, but you could add a more cosmic touch, maybe details of alien energy, or even a version with traces of Skrull or Kree technology. He would be a character who draws attention on screen, both for his visuals and for the way he moves, with that smooth and powerful flight that reminds you he isn't just another soldier, he is something different. The absence of Vision leaves the game a bit colder, more just brawling. He would bring that mix of intelligence, power, and sensitivity that makes a difference. He would be the character who not only fights, but makes you think about what it means to be human amidst a universe of superpowers and advanced technology. And in Marvel Cosmic Invasion, that would make all the difference.